Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
And today we're going to be talking about something that can be done in the summertime if you want to get rid of old junk and make a little money in the process. You could have yourself a garage sale. Have you ever had a garage sale before, Stephanie?
I had one of my brothers or sisters who had one. But my mom never had any. She didn't want the neighbors coming over and looking at all her garbage.
Interesting.
You know, it's not garbage you're selling, but it's stuff that you no longer need or want. And so in the U.S. at least, you usually have a garage sale in a garage or your front yard. Garages are better for these sales because, you know, it just looks messy if you put stuff out on the front lawn. But yeah, if you want to get rid of some stuff, I think in Taiwan, you might have to ask your building manager if you could use, you know, maybe you have a little bit of space in front of your apartment building. Or maybe even in the car parking lot. I don't know, but I think it would be harder to have a garage sale in Taiwan.
Especially in the cities when you don't actually have a yard or a garage. And so these are quite common, at least in the United States. I assume they're common in Canada and the UK. I think in the UK they call them jumble sales. Where I'm from, we call them rummage sales. At least that's what my mother referred to them.
I've heard of that too, yeah.
But most people say garage sale or yard sale. Again, it kind of depends on where they're putting the things out. And I should say that they're very common. Is it Labor Day or Memorial Day? One of the holidays in the spring or early summer, at least where I'm from, it was quite common to have them on Labor Day weekend, I think it was. Or I can't remember which one it was.
Labor Day weekend would be in September, though.
Okay, then it has to be the one that's in spring.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah, it was common then, and you would check the newspapers and find out where all the sales were.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to look for stuff that maybe was hard to get. I remember looking forward to them so I could find some old comic books or maybe records or CDs or cassette tapes and stuff like that. Everybody was always trying to get rid of those things for a very cheap price, maybe 25 cents or 50 cents or $1. Pretty cheap.
You could have fun as a kid. I remember that because some of the stuff was really low price, like 50 cents. But also, sometimes I would go and look and try to find antiques, things that were really old and valuable that maybe the owner wasn't aware of. It's hard to find those, though. Most people are too smart these days, especially because on TV there's this show called Antique Roadshow, I think it is. It's a show on PBS in America. And they've now started having the same show in England, which would be better because they have lots of antiques over there. But people bring in their old stuff to see how much it's worth. It's hard to find that sort of thing in a garage sale, but you will find some fun things if you just keep looking. We're going to read through day one, guys, and then we'll be back to talk about it.
If your house is in disorder and filled with old belongings, it might be time for a garage sale. Garage sales are informal events at which individuals exhibit and sell their old things in their garage or front yard. Garage sales are relatively easy to arrange if you follow some common practices. First, clean out your garage, basement, and closets and sort out the goods that you want to sell. Next, buy some blank stickers and set prices. Make the prices large and clear so they are easy to identify. Your prices should be reasonable, or else many buyers will immediately reject them. Bundling items will also create greater demand, as people will feel they're getting a better deal. For example, there's a higher likelihood you'll sell your entire comic book collection if you sell issues in bulk rather than individually. Next, it's time to select a date for your sale. To spread the word, hang some flashy signs around your neighborhood and promote your sale on social media. When the date arrives, be sure to have plenty of coins and small bills on hand to make change. Brush up on your negotiation skills too, as buyers will frequently demand lower prices. It's fine to reduce your prices slightly as long as you set some boundaries and limits on how low you will go. If all goes well, your sale will be profitable, and you'll have created some extra space in your home.
Well, as you know, it's our TOEIC unit. So for the next couple of programs, we're going to be talking about some words and phrases you're likely to find on a TOEIC exam. So these are some words that you'll want to put into your vocabulary. Try to use them. Don't just memorize them. Try to use them in your speech or your writing so that they stick in your brain. I think sometimes when we memorize for a test, those things we memorize last minute don't stay around very long. So we're going to be talking about preparing for your first garage sale. If you have your house and you look around and it looks kind of messy, you might have a house that's in disorder. You can have a messy house that's clean underneath. And then you just have items, that are strewn around the room. That's not so bad. But sometimes our houses get so filled with things, there's really no place to walk or move around after a while. And that's when you might want to think about having a garage sale.
There are a couple reasons why you might want to have a garage sale. Yes, to get rid of junk or maybe to make a little money. And again, you want to get rid of your old belongings. Those are things that you own, your belongings. And it might be time for a garage sale if you want to get rid of those old things. Garage sales are informal events at which individuals exhibit and sell their old things in their garage or front yard. Now, in the United States, at least, lots of people own their own homes. That's getting more difficult these days, but a lot of people do own their own homes, and American homes often have a garage attached to it. And therefore, if you want to have a garage sale, you just park your car out in the street or something like that, and then you arrange all these items in the garage, maybe in the driveway as well, maybe even in the yard. And what you're doing there is you are exhibiting your belongings, your old things. So here we've got the verb to exhibit, which means to show something. Exhibit can also be a noun. I'm going to the art exhibit, for example. That's where you can go see artwork. But in this particular case, it's being used as a verb. Both the verb and the noun form are pronounced exactly the same.
I wanted to mention with this word belongings, it's always used in the plural form. And it refers to things that you can move around. It doesn't refer to your home or your yard, your any property you have. Usually you hear this word used when people are talking about don't forget your belongings in a cab. They'll often remind you, don't forget to take your stuff with you. Those are your belongings. Or on a plane, they'll often talk about belongings. Your belongings may have shifted in the overhead compartment. So you'll hear that word then. Remember, it always has an S on it, though. So garage sales are informal. People you don't know will come over. People you do know will come over. And it's a place where you can exhibit or show and sell your old things in your garage or your front yard. Garage sales are relatively easy to arrange if you follow some common practices. So this is a great unit if you really are thinking about it, or maybe you had never heard of it before, but this is a really great idea. And we go through some of the steps that you might take if you're going to really have your first garage sale.
Indeed. So, of course, you have this in your garage or in your front yard, and garage sales are pretty easy to arrange, and we've got some common practices, things you need to do. So here in the next paragraph, it says, first, clean out your garage, basement, and closets, and sort out the goods that you want to sell. So you're going through your garage, which is a place where you not only park your car, but also junk that you don't know what to do with. You'll have junk in your basement. You'll have junk in your closets. You'll have junk under the bed. You'll have junk pretty much everywhere in your house. And if you decide to have a garage sale, organize all that stuff, bring it all together, and then you need to sort those things out. Okay, so you might be selling old clothes or old furniture or books or records and things like that. Sort them into different categories and then maybe place them in different parts of the garage so that people can see them easily.
Now, you might want to buy some blank stickers and set prices. You need to decide what you're going to sell your items for. You don't want to make them too expensive or people won't even want to look around. You want to make them affordable and something maybe that you could negotiate on. Some people love to haggle over prices where they'll say, oh, you're selling it for 100, I'll give you 90. And so you then negotiate a price. So make sure your prices are reasonable. If not, people are just going to walk right away and reject them. Another thing you can do is bundle items. Bundling things together means to take several things and making a big pile out of them or a big group of them. You might have a bundle of laundry. You might have a bundle of envelopes because you get a lot of mail each day. Bundle can be a noun or a verb. Here we're using the gerund form, the noun with an ing, bundling. So if you want to bundle items, you'll also create greater demand. Tom, you were talking about how you like to go and see if they had any comic books for you.
Yep.
Would they often put several issues together?
Yeah, they'd probably put them in a box and here's a set of 20 issues of Mad magazine, for example, and they would have a special price. I probably already had a couple of them, but what the heck, I'll buy the box and I'll get some extras of that, but it's okay, it's a cheaper price. We do call that sometimes buying in bulk, which means if you buy a lot of something, you can get a lower price. That's what Costco is all about, buying in bulk, buying a lot of something, and you'll get a lower price as a result. And this is a similar concept here, bundling the items together, kind of putting them all together as a special deal, and then people will probably more likely buy them because, hey, I'm getting a good deal. I'm getting a cheaper price that way. Let's give you an example here. For example, there's a higher likelihood you'll sell your entire comic book collection if you sell issues in bulk rather than individually. So there's the term bulk there. In bulk, sell things in bulk. And in this particular case, we're talking about comic books. So if you are a fan or used to be a fan of, say, Attack on Titan, for example, you might have the whole set. I don't know, what is it, 25 books or something like that. Yeah, don't sell them individually. Sell the whole set for a certain price, and people may be more likely to buy the whole set rather than individual issues.
Right. We'll often use this word in bulk in grocery stores in the U.S. especially. You could go into aisles in the grocery store where they would have certain things like oats and grains and even candy, chocolate, I remember, that would come in these big bins or barrels, and then you could just take as much as you want and you would buy it based on weight. So in bulk. You can also use bulk as an adjective. Bulky, if something's bulky, it's kind of big and kind of sloppy, especially clothes. I would say, oh, that sweater looks really bulky on me. Makes me look fat. So the girls would use this word sometimes. You want to look sleek and thin, I know. But yeah, we use this quite a bit. But remember, you can't just say, I want to sell these things bulk. No, it has to be in bulk. Moving on to the final paragraph, it says, next, it's time to select a date for your sale. When do you want to have it? Tom, you mentioned some really great times of the year to have a garage sale in America. We have lots of holidays here in Taiwan. That might be a good time for you to have your garage sale. Probably not on the long holidays where everybody leaves town, right? To go back and see family. But we have shorter holidays like Dragon Boat Festival. You might want to have a garage sale then. Set your stuff out. When people have a day off to just kind of roam around, wander, take their time looking at things. When people are busy during the week, it's hard. Saturday, maybe, unless, people have kids and they have activities a lot, I know. But you need to pick a good date and time for your sale. Usually they last all day.
Right, and then you need to spread the word. Back in the day when I was younger, of course, they put advertisements in the local newspaper. Local newspapers are kind of disappearing around the world, or at least in the United States. So you'll probably have to have some flyers posted on
telephone poles.
They're telephone poles, exactly.
Yeah, the poles.
Or on, local places, maybe they will allow you to advertise your garage sale. Nowadays, of course, you can promote your sale on social media, on Facebook or whatever. Just mention, hey, we're having a garage sale on, June 3rd or something like that. Come on over and check out our stuff. And when the date arrives, be sure to have plenty of coins and small bills on hand to make change. This is useful for anybody who is selling something, especially if you're selling stuff on the street. Maybe you're selling jewelry or something. You need to have a lot of change available in case you're selling something, say, for 50 NT, and then the person hands you 1,000 NT dollar bill. Ooh, do I have change for that? Well, I'll check. And yes, indeed, it's a good idea to be prepared for such a situation. So yeah, have lots of coins and small bills. In the US, they would be $1 bills or $5 bills or even $10 bills. Have them on hand. Have them available.
It's time also to think about your prices. Remember, you want to set them so they're reasonable, affordable, not too expensive, but not too cheap either. Brush up on your negotiation skills. Yeah, practice those a little bit, as buyers will frequently demand lower prices. That's just what we love to do, haggle or negotiate prices. It's fine to reduce your prices slightly. Slightly here just means a little bit. So you could say, I'm going to reduce it just a tiny bit, a little bit, slightly. Yeah, so that's a really good piece of advice. Don't go too low. You need to set some boundaries and limits on how low you will go. Before you even begin the day, decide in your mind what you want to sell these things for, what you will take, what your bottom line is. That's how low you will go.
Exactly. So, of course, you might get certain people coming up, and even though the price is already really, really low, they still want to ask for a discount. Gee, 50 cents is a little high for this old English dictionary. Could you go down to, say, 10 cents or maybe even 5 cents? What do you think I am? That's ridiculous. 50 cents is already a very reasonable price. Take it or leave it.
So set boundaries. What are boundaries?
Boundaries are limits, basically. So, yeah, don't let them go too low. It's very rare that somebody will offer you a higher price for something unless it's rare and you don't know about it. We have heard about that. People selling things at yard sales that they didn't realize the value of. Like they sold an old painting, a Picasso painting. They thought it was just something they bought in a thrift store somewhere, but it's actually worth millions of dollars, and they just sold it for $1.50 or something like that. It does happen sometimes.
Well, some people are honest and they want to give you a little bit more money. But you want to walk away from the sale being profitable. Profitable is the money you earn in addition to what it cost you to provide a service or buy that thing and then sell it again. If you buy something and then sell it and it's not profitable, it means you've lost money. So you want to make a profit. Profitable is the adjective form of the noun profit. We all are going into business to be profitable, to make a profit. Right now, we're going to listen quickly to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to discuss a couple questions.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。哎呀，有人说我们现在是一个物资过剩的时代，好像是真的耶，因为家里真的好像太多东西了。家里太多东西怎么办？其实有一个方式，就可以办个 garage sale。garage sale 就是所谓的二手拍卖嘛。好，那如果真的东西太多，堆满杂物的时候，我们就可以赶快来办个二手拍卖啊。当然你也可以说，老师我可以网拍啊 OK， 可是像我们这种老人呢，没有看到实物，光看到照片有时候会有不安全感，所以其实像我自己还蛮喜欢去逛一些跳蚤市场啊。好，那我们如果今天要真的办一个旧物的二手拍卖会的话，那到底要怎么样来处理呢？这就是我们今天的文章。好，可是在第一段我们要注意一下第二句哦。第二句同样还是在解释了一下所谓的 garage sale 是什么东西。好，那基本上它就是一个比较非正式的一种活动啦。因为其实你可以在你自己家有空位的地方，比如说车库啊、前院啊这个地方，楼下这个空地啊、社区的这中间的大庭啊，就可以卖一些自己用过的旧的二手的东西。好，所以这一句其实有一个限定用法的关系子句，先行词是 informal events， 它就是个非正式的活动。 那么关系子句从 at which 这个 at 开始哦，一直到句尾的地方。好，那这边写得很好，它没有用 where， 所以你看到 at which 一定指的是 informal events。那么 at 呢，就变成是 and at the informal events， 而在这个不正式的活动当中，也就是而在二手拍卖会当中，大家就可以把自己用过的东西拿出来卖。OK， 好，那当然我们要办一个二手拍卖会的话，就是有一些常见的做法啦。那我们到底要怎么做呢？这感觉上这一篇应该是说明文，对不对？到底要怎么做？说明文，第一，你要先怎么做？接下来你要怎么做？第三，怎么做？然后最后你才可以怎样哦？在这种文章当中，我们要特别注意条列式的结构。说明文当中就要特别注意第一点、第二点、第三点，最后一点很重要的。除此之外，这一些转成词语，所以像在第二段第一句当中，这个 first 你就可以把它框起来。因为我们到底怎么做二手拍卖呢？它会有一些步骤或者需要了解的一些做法。第一点就在这个地方。好，接下来第二段第二句前面的 next， 好，你看把它框起来哦。这些框起来的转成词语能够让你对文章的结构很了解，你就可以了解文章的重点在哪里。有时候我们会觉得读文章都读不懂，是因为我单字背的不够，错。真正的关键是在于，如果你可以掌握文章的结构，你就可以掌握文章的重点。当然，如果有关键字汇不了解的话，会对文意产生一些混淆。可是总的来说，我们会知道，我们今天谈的就是二手拍卖，然后如何来做一个二手拍卖。好，所以接下来这第二句的 next 也要框起来哦。那接下来的第三句，我们就要特别注意一下重点咯。So 这个地方当然是所以，它谈的是一个因果的关系。可是其实在这句话当中，文意啊，你也可以把 so 换成另外一个叫做 so that。So that 也是连接词片语，这样子的话就可以如何如何表示目的。如果你用 so that 的话，后面的 they be 动词就建议改成未来式哦。So that they will be easy to identify。因为我们现在在谈一个事情嘛，那还没有做。如果你把标弄好的话呢，弄大一点清楚，这样子就会比较容易辨识。好，那么当然价格一定要合理啦。还有一个技巧就是搭售商品。就是说呢，不要买一组哦，搭售商品会觉得好像买气会比较旺。在同样这段第五句的地方，逗点之后的 as 连接词有三种意思 when because 如同好像，在这里阐述的是原因，因为大家会觉得好像比较便宜哦。那这样讲这什么意思啊？在文章的写作当中，能够举实例是最好的。所以接下来的第六句的 for example 就要把它框起来。比如说你的漫画就一册一册一批一批的，不要一本一本的卖。那这样子一整册买比较便宜的话，通常大家就买一整册。好，第三段 next 再把它框起来。我们第三段的第一句接下来到底要做什么呢？后面的 it's time to do something 请画起来，它表示是现在该做什么事咯，该选择日期了。接下来的第二句的 to do something 再加逗点，这里也是划线跟圈圈，因为在英文当中只要是 to do something 逗点才出现完整的句子，主词加动词就表示目的，为了要去宣传，为了要散播消息，当然就要用一些标志啦，或者甚至在这个 social media 社群媒体当中去做一些宣传。然后活动日期到的时候，你要先确定自己有很多硬币啊、小钞能够找零，当然也要复习一下你的谈判技巧。所以同样这一段在第四句，请把句子当中大概是逗点中间的地方，逗点 to 这边框起来，因为 to 也要如何如何哦，它也表示了另外一种方法。同样在这一句后面的逗点 as， 你就猜猜看它的文意是表示时间，表示原因，还是表如同好像呢？在这里还是 because 的意思，后面表示原因。为什么你要 sharpen， 你要 brush up on your negotiation skills？ Because 因为通常啊，买家都会来 bargain。好，所以以上呢，我们就稍微介绍了一下如何来办一个 旧物的二手拍卖，明天会出现实际的对话哦。我们明天见，我是安娜，拜拜。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, it's time for us to have some discussion questions regarding garage sales or yard sales. And here's the question. Can you think of some items you would sell at your garage sale?
Well, I typically just give away stuff I don't want anymore. I was thinking about this morning, though, and I thought, I have some extra pieces of luggage that I really don't use anymore. I just store things in them because I got newer pieces of luggage that had better wheels. Nowadays, the wheels are so important. So I bought some better pieces of luggage. And now I just have those older pieces that I kind of have to drag along. And I thought, but they're still in good shape. These might be good for, say, younger people, guys with muscles. What about you? Is there something that you think you would be able to sell at a garage sale?
Well, if I could get my wife and my daughter to part with them, I would probably sell all their old clothing items that have piled up over the years. And people do this sometimes. I know there are people who sell used clothing.
It's harder to sell clothes, yeah.
It is, but there are people who do it in Gongguan and maybe other places on the weekend. I remember seeing people selling clothes near the parking lot in Gongguan there. So that's kind of similar. But yeah, clothing items. Sometimes people are looking for old fashions that you can't buy anymore. They're kind of retro style, you know. Maybe you're looking for a dress or a shirt from 20 or 30 years ago that might look kind of cool, you know, if you wear it to class one day and all your classmates are going to go, wow, where did you get that dress? That is really cool. It's really mod. I wish I could have something like that myself.
Yeah, retro fashion is coming back in style, that's for sure. So if you have some really good pieces of clothing, some articles of clothing, and you think they might come back into style, hold on to them so that when they do come back into style, maybe you can sell them. Okay, here's the next question. Tom, how would you advertise your garage sale?
Well, first of all, of course, by word of mouth, tell all my friends and my classmates and my coworkers and stuff that I'm having a garage sale. Let them know about it. And then you could advertise in the local newspaper. As I said, those are kind of fading out, so you'd probably have to advertise on social media. I don't do Twitter myself, but I do Facebook, so I'd probably put some kind of advertisement on Facebook. How about you?
Facebook is used more often in Taiwan than Twitter. I would also post some ads on different websites. There are a couple of websites here in Taiwan that foreigners use. And also Tlet. I know a lot of native Chinese speakers will use that as well. You can find things to sell and to buy online. I would also announce it at church. I have a lot of people there who would be interested in this stuff. So, yeah, there are lots of places to advertise. Word of mouth is really good, but a bright flyer that you could put around the neighborhood, you know, that people walk around and take down. I would do those too, because those are effective a lot of times.
And we certainly wish you the best of luck if you decide to have a garage sale yourself. You probably aren't going to have one here in Taiwan, but hey, maybe you can sell your stuff online someplace and make a killing. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today, and we'll be back next time with a conversation about Susanna and Kent, and they are talking about having a garage sale themselves. So until then, from all of us here at English Digest, my name is Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.